So what I'm about to tell you might be one of the stories of all stories. You see the thumbnail. Odell Beckham has a decision to make in the near future. Will he be coming back to New York City, or will he be going to Dallas? Now, there are some other teams in the mix, possibly still, but right now it's looking like those are the top two teams in this decision. And I'm going to call it the decision because I think back to LeBron James and his decision when he left Cleveland and decided to go to Miami. But if you ask LeBron James, one of the best things he ever did was go back to the land and win a championship for that team. Now look at Odell. He's won a Super Bowl with the Los Angeles Rams. So he has a ring, and he participated and was a big part in that victory before he got hurt. But when you think about it, the two stories are very, very, very similar. Just imagine Odell comes back, or if he's waiting to decide what team he should go to, I think he makes his decision after the Giants versus Dallas on Thanksgiving. Now, if the Giants do in fact defeat the Dallas Cowboys, I think that makes the decision a little bit easier for Odell Beckham because he wants to be with the contender, and at that point in time, it makes the absolute most sense to return to New York. Another thing is this. Everybody's talking about the money. Everybody's talking about Odell wanting to have a home, wanting a home for his family and things like that. He knows New York City. He knows the New Jersey area. I don't even know if he sold the house that he had in New Jersey. But I'm telling you right now, the way this story pans out for me is that Odell Beckham should return to play for the Giants. Now let's get a little bit deeper into the storyline of the 2022 season. Right now, the New York Giants are 7-2. We're going to play the Detroit Lions on Sunday, and then we have that quick turnaround on Thanksgiving to play the Dallas Cowboys. Now, if we continue to play this style of football where it's physical, everything goes through Saquon Barkley, you kind of look at what's the missing piece for the New York Giants. Now, a lot of people will say is that Odell, he's not that same Odell as before. He's not a number one guy, but for the New York Giants, he is. And he doesn't have to have the kind of 2014, 2015 type of Odell impact. What we need is a guy that can grab the attention of the defense. And when they do that, it opens up the field for everybody else. Odell Beckham makes Saquon Barkley better, and vice versa. Odell Beckham makes Darius Slayton better. He makes Wan'Dale Robinson better. He makes Daniel Jones better. The Giants as a whole would be better. And when you start to look at that playoff picture, it's not like, okay, great, the Giants made it to the playoffs. Good run. No, you have to look a little bit further. So right now, as it stands, the playoffs started today. The New York Giants will be playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady versus the Giants. And if there's not one person that wants to beat the Giants in the playoffs, it's Tom Brady. So that's a storyline in itself. But just think about the Giants with Odell Beckham going to Tampa Bay and handling business. They prove once again to Tom Brady that you cannot win in the playoffs versus the New York Giants. So now I'm looking at the other playoffs games, and I'm like, okay, so now you have the Cowboys versus the Seahawks. You have the Vikings versus the 49ers. So let's just say the Vikings do beat the 49ers and the Cowboys do beat the Seahawks. So now you have the Cowboys versus the Eagles and the New York Giants versus the Vikings. Now, if you're a Giants fan like I'm a Giants fan, you remember that playoff game way back, when the Giants hung up 40 on the Vikings, the number one placed Vikings. That's a storyline in itself. So imagine the Giants do that. Go up to Minnesota in the Dome. Weather does not play a part anymore. And we take care of business there. So then now I'm looking at, you have the Cowboys versus the Eagles, and it doesn't matter which one of those guys wins. Because at the end of the day, the NFC conference is going to be an NFC East game. So just for the story, let's say the Eagles beat the Cowboys, and now you have the New York Giants versus the Philadelphia Eagles for the NFC Championship. The story is writing itself now. And again, none of this stuff is easy. This is just a story, and this is just what I'm in my head. I'm like, wow, if Odell Beckham comes back to the Giants, this could possibly be the story of all stories. So the New York Giants in the NFC Conference Championship go against the Eagles, and we beat the Eagles. So now the New York Giants are in the Super Bowl. Saquon Barkley, Odell Beckham, Darius Slayton, Daniel Jones, Wink Martindale, Kafka, Brian Dable. These guys are locks. Dable is coach of the year at this point. Saquon Barkley might be the MVP. And I didn't even talk about the AFC yet. And I'm not even going to go into details about the AFC, but just think about this. What if the Buffalo Bills come out of the AFC and go to the Super Bowl? And now you have a Super Bowl with the New York Giants versus the Buffalo Bills. Oh my God. The story keeps writing itself. So now you have the Buffalo Bills with that high-powered offense, air it out offense versus the New York Giants in the throwback running game. Two good defenses. The aura in the building is fantastic because you're thinking about that 1990 Super Bowl, wide right. And you're like, yeah, the story keeps writing itself. And at the end of the day, I can see the New York Giants hoisting that Lombardi trophy in one of the most unlikeliest of years, seasons ever. Coming from the ashes, out the mud, the New York Giants possibly winning the Super Bowl. And it all starts with Mr. Odell Beckham Jr. I want to thank you guys for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows Big Blue Nation. Let's go.